Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's been a few days. We decided that we wanted to take a break because we had put out 6 videos in the span of I believe 7 or 8 days, and for me that's just super incredible. And although we are both super excited, editing the videos is kind of difficult for me still, and it can take me sometimes 4 hours, and on top of my AP work, it's just a lot sometimes. But I'm back! And so is Ashton, and we're really excited to start making videos again. So today, my video is going to be about conducting the fight song. So in the last 2 videos that I've been in that had to do with conducting, we talked about beginning posture and beginning hand movement. So you know what, we're just gonna go right into it, and I think that you guys will get it right away. Aaron, I know that you wanted to learn how to subdivide, so we're going to talk about the movement that comes with the 2-4 march style, and then we're going to learn how to subdivide. Now, I'm a little unsure on how me teaching subdivision is going to be because I was never taught, Ashton was never taught. It's just something that you start doing. So it's going to be very, very challenging for me to try and help you guys understand what subdivision is, because honestly, it's kind of hard for me to explain. But you know what? We'll give it a shot, so let's go! Before we get started, I want to dissect the fight song with you. Now, as you can see here from this whole note, it kind of looks like it's going to be 4/4 time. However, it is not. It is called cut time, and basically what that means is we cut every single note in half. So instead of conducting this like 1, 2, 3, 4, we conduct it like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, an eighth note, stuff like that. So that leads us to a conducting style that looks like this. Now you can think about this in 2 ways. You can think about it as 1 and 2 and 1, or technically you can also think about it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. However, they both look the same. I do the 1 and 2 and 1 just because it's just better for me personally. However, you can do it however you'd like to. Okay, before we get started, there's something I also wanted to bring up. So when you conduct, you don't want a lot of baggy clothing on, so that's why I'm in a t-shirt outside. Because when you conduct with baggy clothes, you've probably seen it once or twice in my senior drum major career, where I've been conducting and I've had to roll up my sleeve in the middle of a count or push up my glasses, but that's just a common thing. If you have never seen me push up my glasses at least once, where have you been? Like, my glasses, they just fall everywhere. Okay, anyway, on to the main point of the video. So, although we looked at what the shape looks like, just to reiterate this point about keeping my wrist right here really firm so this does not dip down or scoop up. And especially, I was known for this for a very, very, very long time. When you conduct, you do not want to have your beat 2 look like this. Woo! Bruh. When you conduct, you do not want your beat 2 to look like this. Woo! You don't want that. You don't want that. Because it's just a little confusing to have your fingertips go like that and then come back. So, 1, woo! No, you don't want that. So I'm gonna go through this very slowly. I'm just gonna break it down. Now, this is the and 1. This is 1. This is your point. You always want to come back to this, as we've talked about. 2 is just slightly outward. You don't want it too low and you don't want it too high, because if it's too high, then you're moving this part of your arm, wastes energy. You don't want that. You want to conserve it, especially because during the fight song, this is all you're doing. You don't want to make it super extravagant. Now, there's probably going to be some people out there that as you keep doing this, your fight song technique starts to look like this weird curve shape, where you're curving, see that curve there, instead of making a nice check mark shape. Now, that could be because you're not stopping, and you're not making a clear transition from beat 1 to the and of 1. Does that make sense? See, because if you don't, it just looks like a curve, and that's not what we want. We want a nice check mark shape. So moving on, we've got 1 and 2 is just the exact same thing. You basically just go 1 and 2. You just go back, take the same path you came. It's just that simple. However, getting used to that, where your hands are supposed to go, I completely understand that might take some time. But the last count in the conducting style is very simple. You just go up. So putting it all together, it is 1 and 2 and 1. Now, let's say the fight song was going, it would probably look something like this. Dun 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 dun. Olive. Now, when it comes to the subdivision aspect of the fight song, I think that this is the song that taught me how to unintentionally subdivide. And here's why. Because there is only 2 main beats and 2 and beats, in order to make it look right, you have to subdivide, or else it turns into this curve, and it just doesn't look right. You have to subdivide for the fight song, or else it'll look like a curve. Now, I've been thinking about a lot of ways on how to make you guys understand what subdivision is. And I think I found an idea. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. Here we go. So when you think of the fight song, you imagine the beats in the song. It is 1 and 2 and, but it's not, when you take the style into account, you have to think of how are you saying those counts. Would you be saying it like 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and, or 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and? I think that the fight song, because it is a march style, I think it would be like 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Very accented words, right? And you want to kind of correlate the accents of your words to the accents in your conducting style. Now, someone who might think of it as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and, kind of slurring the words, their conducting style might look like this. There's not a whole lot of correlation between each beats. You can't really tell what beat is what. But if you conduct with the intention of 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and, suddenly, if you add that to your conducting, it begins to look like 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1. So I think that that's the best way that I can teach subdivision. I hope that helps with subdivision. Just make sure that you have the intention of the counting that you are using with your words, and kind of correlate that to the accents that you were putting into your conducting. What I mean by, I'll just whine. What I mean by putting in the accents is, I mean a hard stop and just maybe a little bit of a bounce. Now, if you watch me during the fight song conducting, this is how I would subdivide it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, except the 3 and 4 and, because it's only 1 and 2. Now, if I come closer, it looks like this. Now, you can't tell that this is subdivision because there's only 4 beats to the song. Two main beats and 2 and beats. So you really need that subdivision because there are only 4 eighth notes in the song per measure. You really need that subdivision in order to keep the band on track. This might be the hardest 2/4 piece that I've conducted. Might be the only piece. However, that doesn't change the fact that this conducting style is difficult. It's difficult for everyone. That's just how it is. Don't let it get you down at first. I let it get me down for the practice audition, as you saw in my failure video. Made me feel awful. This conducting style is hard. Even though I didn't even get it at the audition, it took me a long time to get it passed then. So I think that that's it. Hopefully this was helpful. Aaron, I'm sorry I can't help you very much with subdivision. However, I hope that this was kind of helpful to you and to the people who are auditioning for drum major. And I hope you liked the video. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to text me or anything. I'm playing tug of war with my puppy. And she's winning. I'm weak. I'm out of shape. But anyway, guys, I will see you in the next video. Bye. No. That was not a scripted thing. That actually happened. Okay. Okay, I'm done. I'm done with you. I'm done.